From finding himself in a pickle after he fired Henry Cavill, to the 4 actresses in line to be our next Lois Lane. Here's how James Gunn reacted to the Superman Legacy cast contenders we've been hearing about. First things first, the departure of Henry Cavill left some pretty big shoes to fill, cause the British actor gave fans one of the best versions of Superman so far. I mean, the DCEU wouldn't have been half as good without Cavill's measured, world-weary performance. And James Gunn's questionable decision to fire him might have been a huge mistake. You see, Henry Cavill gained a massive fan following after Man of Steel. So if his successor doesn't hit the nail on the head, Gunn's DCU will be dead on arrival. You have to admit, fans are really upset that Cavill got fired, especially given how things were handled. Cavill made a comeback as Superman in the Black Adam post-credits scene, so most fans assumed that he'll be showing up a lot more in the future. This only made Gunn's announcement all the more shocking. Fan reactions ranged from calling Cavill the best Superman ever, and thanking him and Snyder for all the work they put into the films, to wondering why Warner Bros. Had Cavill make an appearance if they were planning to fire him all along.
Black Adam. We should talk.
Some fans even said that no one can live up to Henry Cavill. There's clearly a lot of mismanagement happening at Warner Bros. Headquarters. And while James Gunn is certainly trying his hardest to find a suitable replacement, it kinda feels like Henry never got the chance to fulfill his true potential as Superman. But even though the backlash is justified, Gunn has a solid reason for showing Henry the door. He's looking to reboot the DCU and give us a younger, less experienced Superman in the process. Gunn has been quick to clarify that Superman Legacy won't be an origin story, but the superhero won't be as jaded as he was in Man of Steel either. Instead, he'll be somewhere in the middle, having already mastered his powers before the start of the film, but still coming to terms with his identity. The struggle to balance his human upbringing with his Kryptonian roots will be a core feature of the film. And considering how Superman's still supposed to be at the start of his journey, you can see why Henry wasn't the best option. Sure, he personifies everything that Superman stands for, but Gunn's looking for an actor that's a bit greener around the gills. He needs someone that can pull off a Superman who's in his mid to late 20s, and at 40 years old, Cavill's just too mature for that kind of role. What's more, Henry might have brought too much baggage from the DCEU. After all, he was the face of the cinematic universe for years, helping to launch the franchise with Man of Steel and leading more DCEU films than any other Justice League member. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and finally Justice League gave his character a proper story arc, cementing Cavill's place as one of the best actors to play Superman in movie history. However, they also tied him down to an extent. Gunn just won't be able to give his brand new DCU a fresh feel with the old DCEU's poster boy. And while you can say that he should have handled it better, it's a creative choice that he's entitled to make. The justification for giving Cavill the boot might not satisfy his biggest fans, but there's not much we can do about it now. Gunn's moving on with DCU that's looking to completely change the franchise's trajectory, and whoever recasts as Superman will be front and center in this bold new storyline. So who's gonna be lucky enough to replace Cavill as the Man of Steel? Well, there are already some strong contenders, starting with Nicholas Hoult. This will be the 3rd DCU role that he's been linked to, cause he was also in the running to play Matt Reeves' Batman before Pattinson got the gig. Later, rumors suggested that he might play Lex Luthor, and I can totally see the actor bringing Superman's nemesis to life on the big screen. The bar is already pretty low, cause I doubt audiences had anything good to say about Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal. So if Hoult gets to be our next Lex, he won't have to work all that hard to do better than his predecessor. That said, it turns out he's actually in talks to play the lead role. Given his experience playing Beast in the X-Men movies, Hoult definitely knows how superhero movies work, and he deserves a promotion to lead role after doing such a great job as a supporting character. The thing is, Hoult isn't really a fan favorite for the role. That title belongs to one man only, David Corenswet. He has zero superhero film experience, but that doesn't matter much when you look like a classic Superman. His messy black hair is practically begging for that iconic Superman spit curl. And don't even get me started on those baby blue eyes. Corenswet also has an endearing innocence about him that's perfect for the part. Cause even though he's one of the most powerful beings in the universe, Supes is also a real softie, and it would be great if we saw that on the big screen for a change. Don't get me wrong, Henry's gritty portrayal deserves credit for sure, but David might capture Superman's sweetness in a way few other actors have. As the character's story arc progresses, we could watch him get older and more jaded in real time. Fans have already started making photoshops of Corenswet as the Man of Steel, one of which shows the actor ripping his shirt open to reveal the iconic S logo underneath. If the fans have their way, David will play Superman and Nicholas Hoult will be our new Lex Luthor. But of course, James Gunn isn't one to cave into fan pressure. Just take a look at how he dealt with the backlash after firing Henry Cavill. Social media has been overrun by fan theories about Superman auditions. So Gunn decided to take to Twitter to address some of these rumors. He made one thing pretty clear: he's never gonna tell us who's auditioning. Try as you might and tag him all you like. Gunn's gonna keep his mouth shut about that sort of thing. In his opinion, auditioning for a role is an actor's personal business. So the only news we're gonna get from him is when the role's finally been cast. This wasn't the first time Gunn had to dash our hopes, cause he's already addressed those Jacob Elordi rumors, and the only concrete piece of info we got was that casting still isn't complete. Of course, the rumor mill will keep going, and insiders say that Cornsweet and Hoult are both top contenders for the part. Then again, we've heard supposedly concrete insider reports before. Like, remember that time we all thought Logan Lerman got the part? It seemed like a done deal, but casting hadn't even begun at that point. To be more specific, Gunn said that he won't start working on casting until he's done with the script. Which brings me to my first bit of good news. On the 18th of April 2023, James Gunn announced that the script was finally done, which meant that it was time to start taking auditions at long last. We're moving into the next phase of the production process, so it won't be long before the rumors are put to rest one way or another. Will it be David Cornsweet or Nicholas Hoult in the role? There's no way to tell right now, but it's not like this is the only role that needs casting. If you want a good Superman film, you also need a great actress to star as Lois Lane, and we might have a clue as to who that might be. 4 actresses have been linked to the role so far, starting with Rachel Brosnahan, who you might know from Amazon Prime's The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Rumor has it that she gave an incredible audition, but her age might be a bit of a drawback. Brosnahan is 32 years old, so she's not exactly old, but she might not fit in well with a younger co-star. Her casting kinda depends on who clinches that all-important Superman role, cause Cornsweet and Hoult are both in their 30s, which would make Rachel's age kinda irrelevant. Plus, word on the street is that Emma Mackey from Sex Education is in the running too, along with Phoebe Dynevor from Bridgerton, as well as Samara Weaving from the recent Scream movie. I really doubt that Lois Lane would get cast before Superman, but I'll take any news at this point. Gunn's planning to start shooting his film in January 2024, so he's probably gonna take his sweet time casting Superman. This isn't the sort of decision you take lightly after all. So, from the 4 frontrunners to play Lois Lane, to the mess created by Cavill's unceremonious dismissal, this was everything you need to know about James Gunn's reaction to Superman Legacy cast contenders.